I love the moment when I'm walking up to the wheat field at dawn and how the light changes on the grain, whether it's green in the spring or if it's ripe in the fall. I just think the awe of standing with your feet on the earth with the smell of the soil and the grain. It just has a very unique fragrance. And the quiet, except for an occasional bird, it's a sense of behold. I feel that I am more receptive to God. It's just an awe-inspiring experience. My name is Elizabeth DeRuff, and I am an agricultural chaplain and the founder of Honoré Farm Mill.
We are named for Saint Honoré, who is the patron saint of bread bakers, communion bread bakers, and flour merchants.
Our mission is really reconnecting and strengthening people's relationship to the land through agricultural practices and through the cultivation of grain and experiential education. I am actually an ordained Episcopal priest, but I prefer the title of agricultural chaplain because I think it better defines what I do. Blessed art you, Lord God, King of the universe. Chaplaincy is the work of empowerment and advocacy for either people in hospitals or in schools, and I feel like that is my work for the land. We're here for our 6th annual wheat harvest, and we were here to harvest grain and to thresh it. We plant on very small plots, and we've actually gotten a little smaller each year because we like to plant enough that a group of volunteers can either plant in a morning or harvest in a morning. We harvested Sonora and Harani.
Harani is a spring-planted durum wheat. It deserves our attention because of its exceptional quality, yield, and it is drought resistant. The story of Harani begins like 2,000 years ago at the Masada Fortress in Israel. Harani is rare largely because it's unknown.
Most of the Harani we will save and replant because it's so rare. There are very few people in the country that are growing it. And then we will probably mill just a tiny bit of the Harani and taste it for the first time in probably bread. And the Sonora we will definitely mill, and we will sell that to support the nonprofit. The volunteers are really a diverse group of people. We have farmers, we have millers, people in regenerative ag, people in the culinary arts, people I think that are really inspired by the Honoré story. I think what happens is people taste the bread and they hear the story, and the two things come together, and it like this aha happens. Most people don't think about flour or wheat or bread this deeply. And when you hear the story and you taste it together, I think something gets lodged in people and they start to wonder what has happened to wheat. In the Christian tradition, Jesus used bread as a symbol, and he called himself the bread of life. Started to think about the wheat on our altar, not so much as a sacrament, but more as a biological process. And I thought, wheat coming from the industrial food supply, is that really the symbol of life that we call it? Beginning with industrial wheat, about 100 years ago, we started to mill wheat in a way that is not very healthy. We strip away all the nutrients in the fiber, and we really produce at an industrial level white flour, which is pretty much devoid of any nutrition. So that's at the sort of finished stage. But all along on the way, we've started to farm with inputs like pesticides and fertilizers. So Honoré really wants to put forth a new vision that's actually very old of wheat, that wheat is actually a health food. It's the original superfood. It's what has fed our civilization for thousands of years. And so our grain is very different. The seeds are not patented, they're open sourced, and they're delicious, and we always stone mill all of our grain. As an agricultural chaplain, I can't tell you how many pastoral conversations I've had with farmers. Farming is really, really hard work and desperately difficult financially. That burden weighs heavily on a lot of farmers. Being able to bear witness to that pain and to that suffering and to offer encouragement. I've also heard confessions, and I think that part of the role is serving the land and also serving the people that work with the land. COVID has had a huge impact on everyone and certainly on us. There were a lot of things working against us. But also what happened is people started buying our flour at unprecedented levels and writing emails to me and telling me how much they appreciated it, because we could see through COVID how brittle and fragile our industrial food supply is. People couldn't buy flour. So it was really the small farmers and the small millers that stepped up and were able to provide. The lasting effect that I hope people take away from this really is a deeper appreciation of wheat, the education around it, the connection they had with the land and with each other, and really reconnect people to the land.